From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
And it's a big afternoons LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check. In this recording, we go over the big news of your fourth stimulus check updated 2021, that monthly stimulus check that starts in the month of July, and why the breaking news today was incredible great news across the board. Then we'll cut to fifth stimulus, the SSI and SDI reform that will raise your benefits if you're on all those benefits, including veterans benefits and survivor benefits, and why the breaking news out of Georgia today signals you could have a major additional lift in December. And then in the middle of this recording, we go over the big money, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars that's laying in your bank account starting this week, and the money that's automatic, and the money you have to do something by the end of the day. This is a major recording. I'm excited you're here. Let's get to it for Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Afternoons LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021, that monthly stimulus check that starts in the month of July. In this recording, we'll go over how much you're going to get, when you're going to get it, who's going to get it, and why the breaking news today was incredible when impacting the fourth stimulus check. Then in the second half of this recording, we go over fifth stimulus that raise your benefits if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, survivor benefits, and anything like that. And why the breaking news today signals that there could be an additional lift of many, many dollars on top of that. You're going to be surprised by the breaking developing news. Then in the middle of this recording, we go over the big money landing in your bank account automatically or by application base starting today. And it's all great, great news. I'm excited you're here. It's a beautiful day here in Southern California this afternoon. Warm, but not hot. And I hope you have beautiful weather where you are. This is LALATE, the 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel, live in the morning, taped in the afternoon. I'm back with you taped after this with evenings LALATE in about 2 hours from now. So make sure you subscribe. 400,000 subscribers. Here we go. About 100 away at the time of this recording. Boy, what a YouTube record it is. 1 year in a few days. So subscribe. Also like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Let's get right to the breaking news without any delay. That is the fourth stimulus check. There's a House proposal and there's a Senate proposal. But the House proposal is getting a modification at issue based upon something tangentially that's happening. Those monthly stimulus checks are very, very critical. The question is, how many months across the board? When we look at the House versus Senate proposal, the issue is the following. The House proposal provides stimulus checks for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senators provide stimulus checks from July to December. The House proposal is $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter, and the Senate proposal is unknown. But word on the street is the Senate proposal is this. Wow. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. That's for a single person. And here comes the breaking news. When we look at the House proposal and we talk about pandemic plus 1 year, the concept is how many months is left to the pandemic. Up to last week, we thought maybe 3 months. So 3 months plus 12, 15 checks. 15 checks compared to 6 checks in the Senate. If you're in a live chat just after 3 o'clock on the West Coast, 6 o'clock on the East Coast, get ready to vote House versus Senate, but not until you hear these breaking news. The breaking news is that there's now belief, at least among legislators and local leaders, that the pandemic may be over by the time of the vote of the fourth stimulus package. That vote is July. And here's what's happening. Today, a series of major corporations across the country said they're lifting the mask mandate. It started on Thursday when the CDC said that the mask mandate is being lifted for vaccinated people. Then on Friday, the White House said the same thing as well. And then today, corporation after corporation announced the lifting of the mask mandate unless required locally by a local jurisdiction. Target, Home Depot, Lowe's, Starbucks are among the many countless corporations lifting the mask mandate immediately. Governor Andrew Cuomo is lifting it, and California is lifting it, again a Democratic governor, on June 15th. Which means, very simply, the pandemic, for purposes of legislation, not for purposes of medicine, may be over in July. And that means that the House plan may only give you stimulus checks for 1 year, not pandemic for 1 year. Which means, here's the calculation. Senate proposal, 6 months, potentially $2,000 a month, $12,000 versus House proposal, 1 year, $1,000 per month, and that first month, $2,000, $13,000. It only takes twice the length of time. So now, which one do you vote for? It's clearly probably going to be Senate. House or Senate? Drop in the comments. I'd love to see your comments. But let's go over the other details about forced stimulus. Incredible, great news. Who's going to get it? You get it. So if you're on SSI or SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, you get the forced stimulus check. Single individual makes less than $75,000, you get the forced stimulus check. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you get the stimulus check. Double it. And if you're a household 4 or less, you get the forced stimulus check. Quadruple it. It's the same qualification as the third stimulus check. The amount of the stimulus check, the forced stimulus check, would be the same among adult dependents as minor dependents and everyone else. There would be no waves of paying the forced stimulus check. Let's go over those details. Remember, I'm a reporter. I just report the news. I'm not giving representations. It's legislators that's giving representations. And their representation is that the vote will be in July for the month of July. That means that the first check you'll get is in the month of July for July. They cannot do waves of stimulus checks like the third one. The next check would be August. Would it be taken out for child support? We don't know. Is it taxable? No. It's a stimulus check. And there you go. That's your forced stimulus check updated 2021. But stay with me to the very end because I have big new breaking news that impacts this across the board. Let's turn to also a preview of what's coming up in the second half of this recording. If you don't have a pen and paper, get that pen and paper ready because I got thousands of dollars of money to give you. And guess what? There's a looming deadline by the end of the day, and I don't want you to miss that deadline. So I want you to take notes across the board. The second half of this video, I'm going to go over fifth stimulus, which heats up this September, a two-step two-bill process. That's much like the fourth stimulus. The fourth stimulus is currently underway with that two-bill, two-step, two-month process of reconciliation. Fifth stimulus would do in September. And instead of stimulus checks in September, they're going to do SSI reform. The breaking news today is that one of the top members of the Fed came out and said that he's expecting exponential growth for purposes of inflation this fall. Wow. That could mean major increases for your benefits. How much? That's coming up in the second half of this recording. Wow, incredible, great news. Now let's circle back to the big money available for you starting today. And you've been doing a great job because I've been seeing your comments. You said, I got the money, I got this, or I'm getting it, or I'm going to reach out, or I'm going to go get it. So you're doing a great job. Let's start with that money. Now, what you're going to hear me cover in this recording is tough love money and a donut money. Some money is automatic, so you don't have to do anything. Just eat that donut. You can share it with me if you want, but just eat that donut. And then tough love money is tough love because I'm telling you, you got to get it, and there may be a deadline. All right, let's start with the great news. Thousands and thousands of dollars are landing in cities and counties and states across the land, part of the $350 billion being sent to them this week, last week, and next week. What is it for? It's for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowners assistance, which I told you when third stimulus passed in January would be the biggest payout you've ever seen in the history of this channel. My message was very loud and clear. You're going to get a third stimulus check of $1,400 in February or March, but it's not going to be the biggest payout of third stimulus check for you. It's going to be this, where you can make $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. And I made very clear to you that I want you to get this money because I don't want you to go from stimulus check to stimulus check when this is the big enchilada for you to get. So let's go over this incredible great news, starting with the rent. It's about $5,000 that you can get, about 4 to 6 months of past due rent, a couple $100,000 for utilities, and then homeowners assistance and utility assistance, more money there as well. Where do you get this $5,000 approximately? 6 locations. Get that pen and paper ready. Here we go. City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. You're asking for rent assistance because of COVID or the American Recovery Act under Biden, the America Recovery Act. Do not use the word stimulus. They won't understand the word stimulus. And how much money? About $5,000, about 4 to 6 months of rent. Then go get SNAP. If you qualify for a stimulus check, you likely also qualify for SNAP. What is it? It's money for food. And how do you get it? From Department of Agriculture. And I've had a lot of viewers say thank you. In just the last few days, I got SNAP because of you. Congratulations. It's so much money, depending on the size of your house and household and where you live. In Hawaii, for example, a family of 4 is getting $16,000 a year approximately. It's incredible. Why is it so much? Because of a Trump executive order and a Biden executive order, which raises it 15% over 1 year. So look at this. We're only 9 minutes of this video, and I've gotten you $16,000 if you're in Hawaii for SNAP, and $5,000 for mortgage and or rent. It's incredible, great news. But that brings me to the first tough love moment, and it's regarding this: that the money for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowners assistance is available now. And as I said in January, I coined the expression, you need to be a purple hawk, and pounce, because it's going to be what I also call a stimulus stampede. A stampede of people trying to get the money for you. It's first come, first serve. Don't be left behind. Number two, reality check, major reality check, as this money is not going to be offered again by the federal government. It will not be included in the fourth stimulus package. So rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, not going to be offered in the fourth stimulus. In fact, the eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance will not be extended in the fourth stimulus. They want it gone. Both Republicans and Democrats want it gone. And the reason they're going to get rid of it is because they're giving you this money now to get it. So if you need the money, get it right now. And congratulations, the countless viewers have been sending me very nice comments saying they've gotten the money. Now, that brings us to some donut moments. It's time for some donut moments. I mean, it's a Monday afternoon, time for some donuts. Donut number one. And I have one wife that sent me a message that her husband's getting $5,000. Congratulations to him. This is first donut moment is the money coming back from your states. And it's absolutely incredible, great news. If your state overpaid you unemployment benefits to no fault of your own, and then asked you to return the money and you did, guess what? The money has been ordered to be returned back to you. Yes, the federal government has stepped in. Marty Walsh, Department of Labor, has issued an order that says states that overpaid residents due to computer malfeasance, no fault of your own, and then told you to return it and you returned it, made a mistake. They should have allowed you to have the money. So Department of Labor has ordered the states to return the money to you automatically to the account you have on file with the Department of Unemployment. Easy breezy, automatic. If you want to know when you're getting that money, you need to reach out to each state. They're all different. Donut moment number two. It's incredible, great news. The federal government, Treasury, IRS, is returning thousands of dollars to residents who filed 2020 tax returns and paid unemployment taxes to the federal government on their unemployment. So let's go over the details and breaking news. The IRS has now informed us that there's not one, but three phases of how they're paying out the money. First, let me go over the money, and then I'll go over the phases. IRS is returning thousands of dollars back to you that you paid them for taxes on your first $10,000 of unemployment. Here is the example. You filed a 2020 tax return. Your total unemployment benefits last year is $10,000, of which $5,000 was your total tax bill to the IRS this year. Of that $5,000, $4,000 was taxes on the unemployment, just taxes on the unemployment. The IRS is returning that $4,000 to you automatically. What a great donut moment. It's that part of the taxes that you paid on the unemployment coming back to you from IRS. Now, what are the phases? Phase one. The first group being paid out is phase one, and that's single tax filers who filed a 2020 return. They have no dependents and no other tax refunds on the return. They're deemed simple tax filings by IRS. Phase two are individuals who are single filers but have dependents or tax refunds. And phase three are everyone else like married couples. Phase one is being paid early part this week and last week. Phase two is starting later this week. And then phase three is the end of this month. Everyone's going to get paid in the month of May. Incredible, great news, which brings me to my tough love moment number one. Now, it's currently 3 o'clock here on the West Coast, 6 o'clock on the East Coast, and I know post offices are starting to close. But your 2020 tax return was due by the end of today if you're required to file one, or you're the topic of discussion of some of the items I've been covering in the videos over the last few days. This is a tough love moment. And tough love moment number one kicks in right now. If you took out for federal taxes while receiving your unemployment benefits in 2020, then guess what? You have to file a federal tax return with IRS by the end of today, requesting the money back from IRS. Here's the example. You took out $100 a week over 10 weeks for federal taxes when receiving your unemployment benefits. You have to file a tax return by the end of today, requesting that money back, $1,000 from IRS. Otherwise, you're not getting it. Now, here's what you need to know if you're watching this video too late in the day and the post office is closed. Go get that tax return on file somehow. Do it electronically or bring it tomorrow morning and file. Get it on file. I know some of you may be late, but if you want to fix it right and fix it as soon as possible. All right, that brings me to incredible great news about the parents and the children. And this is incredible great news. If you have a child that is 5 to newborn, you're getting $3,600 starting the month of July, prorated $300 a month. And if that child is 17 to 6, you're going to get $3,000 prorated per month, which is $250 a month. Incredible, great news. But there's two things that have to happen to get that money. Number one, you make less than $75,000. Number two, IRS knows that child exists. In fact, the administration had someone on broadcast news talking about this today, and this is critical, which brings us to tough love moment number one. If you never file a tax return and you don't believe that IRS knows that child exists and is with you at your current address, you must file a tax return by the end of today, listing that child as a dependent, a 2020 IRS tax return. Why? If you do not, and that IRS does not know that child is with you, when July rolls around, you'll categorically 100% not get paid a penny for that child. For example, a mother of three kids, 5, 4, and 3, who believes that IRS doesn't know those children exist, will get absolutely nothing if she's correct in July, when she should have gotten $10,000 had she filed the tax return by the end of the day. Tough love moment number two, and that is an individual who files a tax return every year but doesn't list the child. Why? Maybe the child was just born in the last tax year, or the child appeared on someone else's tax return. You need to file that tax return by the end of the day because IRS doesn't know that child's with you. And situation number three, the rarest. You made a lot of money in 2019, but for some reason you didn't make a lot of money in 2020, probably because of the pandemic. Well, if you haven't filed the 2020 tax return, IRS will look at the most recent tax return, 2019 you filed, and see you made too much money. You are ineligible for this money for the children. Get the 2020 tax return on file right away so that they see that you are eligible for this money. Which brings me not to one, but three major tough love moments. And it starts right now. If you're an individual who is not required to file a tax return because you don't make enough money, or you're on SSI and SDI, understand that's not the situation I'm referring to here. That's your situation. But every American can voluntarily file a tax return. And what IRS has made perfectly 100% clear is that if you have to fix a situation, you must file the tax return, or you will not get that money. It's as simple as that. If you want particular stimulus items, you must file the tax return. Otherwise, you won't get the money. Here's an example. And actually, let me just go to number two. If you are missing a first stimulus check, a second stimulus check, a third stimulus check, or any household member stimulus check, you must file the tax return by the end of today. IRS is deeming the stimulus checks you have not received by today's date as missing, and that there won't be any more waves of stimulus checks. You must file the tax return. And while I've been saying this for the last few days, even on today's shows, there have been some people in the comments saying, is anyone else missing a third stimulus check? I heard that maybe there'll be another wave of third stimulus checks. No. IRS has made emphatically clear, if you are missing any stimulus checks, you must file a tax return by the end of the day because they deem it missing. It's not coming. So go do it right away. And finally, the final big tough love moment is that do not presume that an extension is a solution. Here's the problem. An extension means that you're not providing the information to IRS, and they need to know that information. So when they're teeing up the check for the children in July, they want all that information in by today. If you intend to give them that information 3 months from now, guess what? You're not going to get the checks in July. You won't get the checks this year, potentially. You may not get it to next year. So don't do an extension if you don't have to. Which brings us back to rent, utilities, food, internet. Those volunteers are absolutely working it up and doing an incredible job. Where are the volunteers? They're on the community page. If you can't find the money, reach out to them. The community page is in the pinned comment and the description of this video. It has an emoji of a house. It sends you to news.lalate.com/community, a webpage that has a picture of cats and cats at the top of the page. Reach out to volunteers that can help you. They cannot help you with taxes or unemployment, but they can help you with rent. And guess what? I have big updates about fourth stimulus and third and fifth stimulus coming up after this commercial break. Stay with me and jump into the live chat if you're not there already and say hi. I'm there as well. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals. Reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another.
Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE Live Daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now on Afternoons LA with big exciting news about your fourth stimulus check, your fifth stimulus package, and more. I'm really excited you're joining me. It's a Monday afternoon. How you doing? I hope you're great. We're approaching 400,000 subscribers. We're past by the time this video airs. I'm really excited for that incredible, great news. Make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Get access to PDFs that come with this channel. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over the fourth stimulus check update, why there's a breaking news development across the board that impacts us, and we'll go to fifth stimulus starting right now. Fifth stimulus is like fourth stimulus, a two-bill, two-step, two-month process that starts in September and finishes in 2 months. Instead of adding in stimulus checks, it's adding in SSI and SSI reform. So let's go over broadly what it is, and then we'll go over the specifics of the proposals and the breaking news and how that impacts it. It increases your benefit limits, removes the asset limits, and inflationary benchmark. That's the one you got to focus on in the breaking news today. And then removes the income exclusion and removing the marriage penalty. All right, let me explain how this works. In September, they'll raise your benefits up. That's step one. Who's you? SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA, survivor benefits. And if you're multiple benefits, they'll all raise up. Then they're going to attach a new benchmark. The new benchmark will be the inflation rate in December. And what's a benchmark? Every December, you get a letter saying, hi, next year your benefits will be flat, the same as this year before, or they'll go up a certain percentage point. What is the benchmark going to be under this proposal? Inflation. Now, over the last few weeks, I've told you that the inflation rate currently predicted for the end of this year is 2 to 4%, or 2.5 to 4%. That would mean, if that's correct, let's use the number 4%, for example, that in December, they have already raised up your benefits, and then in December, you would get a letter saying, hi, we're going to raise you an additional 4% next year because the inflation rate's 4%. Pretty easy. The way the benchmark works is they step you up. They never step you down. So let's say it's 4% in December, they step you up. And next year it's 0. They don't step you down if it's 0. They just keep you the same. But if next year's 5%, they step you up 5%. Easy breezy, pretty easy to understand. Let's go over the breaking news that happened today. And that breaking news that surprised everyone was when the Atlanta Federal Reserve President Raphael Bostic appeared on broadcast news and was asked about the inflationary rate. He says, I really can't predict the inflation later this year. He was certainly asked about Jeremy Siegel. And Jeremy Siegel appeared on the same broadcast channel on Friday and was asked, do you think, Jeremy, that the inflation rate will be 2 to 4% in December? He said, no, 20%. 20%. So now, while the Federal Reserve President Raphael Bostic out of Atlanta would not predict the inflationary rate because he doesn't want to step on Jerome Powell's feet, his office does, the Atlanta office does have its own tracker. And the Atlanta Fed's tracker says that while the consumer price index, which is much like inflation from last month, was 4.2% nationally, Bostic's tracker is predicting a 10.2% rate in December. Wow. So even if Jeremy Siegel's wrong at 20%, if Bostic's number suggests that we potentially may have 10% inflation in December, let's go over this and how this would work if it happens. First, they would raise your benefits up to a big new number. Then, if let's say it's 10% inflation, you would raise up 10% inflation, and that would be lifetime. Remember, you never step down. If the year after this is 0, you still stay up at 10. If the year after this is 5, you would step up another 5%. Incredible, great news. Now let's turn back to the other items of fifth stimulus, and they would remove the asset cap for beneficiaries. So the asset cap dates back to a 1980s law that says if you're on benefits, you can't stay on benefits and keep more than $3,000 on hand. They're going to get rid of that. It's good timing. It's before the stimulus checks come. Then they're going to remove the income cap, dating back to an antiquated 1960s law that says you can't stay on benefits and also receive employment. So if you wanted to go out and work, you could now go work. $1,000, $2,000 a month. It's incredible, great news. Not required to work, but if you want, incredible. And finally, one of the most important ones for some viewers of this channel, they're removing the marriage penalty. What's the marriage penalty? It penalizes you and takes away your benefits if you get married. So some people who are married have lost their benefits, and then other people have not got to marry because they would lose their benefits. They would get rid of that under fifth stimulus, and now love would win. You would be able to marry your your long-term love interest, and no longer an antiquated law would prevent you from getting it. Incredible, great news. So when would fifth stimulus become law? Two-step, 2-month process, starting around starting September, ending around like November approximately. So you would probably see this in your pocketbook by around November, late October, early December. Incredible, great news. That's your fifth stimulus check updated 2021. Now let's go back to what's happening now with fourth stimulus. Fourth stimulus is getting a very, very fascinating push, and I never would have seen this coming, but it's incredible, great news. What's happening? Legislators, both locally like governors and in Congress like senators and House members, are starting to realize that unemployment stimulus is not the same as stimulus checks, and that rental stimulus is not the same as stimulus checks. What's going on? I told you earlier in this video that rental stimulus, for example, is going away. Democrats don't want to extend it. Republicans don't want to extend it. Why? Because they want us to get back to normal. They want to give you money for rent under third stimulus, which they are, and they want to lift the eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance. They don't want to protect renters indefinitely from being protected, from being evicted. Very easy to understand that concept. Then there is unemployment stimulus, which is FPUC, PUA, and UI. Republican governors think it should end by June. Democrats think it should end by, September, just a few weeks later. But they really don't think it should be extended any longer. The incredible great news is that both parties are finally starting to understand, for the first time in the history of this channel, that stimulus checks are a different instrument that have nothing to do with labor rates, nothing to do with unemployment, and nothing to do with rent. That it has to do with people with past due bills that need to get caught up on bills. A case in point example is several Republican governors have said, I don't like unemployment stimulus anymore. I'm going to get rid of it, and I'm going to give you a stimulus check to get caught up on your bills. It's incredible, great news. Suddenly people realize that stimulus checks is what gets you caught up on bills. And that's why the Senate proposal, which is not a long-term proposal of 12 months, but a short-term proposal, says you have past due bills, we're going to get you caught up, and we're going to get you caught up with a faster cash infusion over a quicker period of time. That's why suddenly the Senate proposal looks like the most logical proposal of the two. Now a personal message. It's important to understand that when we're looking at stimulus checks, the concept of stimulus checks is to get people caught up on bills. I have viewers of this channel who own businesses. I have viewers of this channel who are disabled. I have viewers of this channel who are retired, that used to work and are now retired. And I have people who watch this channel who lost their job, got a job back, or lost their job and have not gotten their job back. And then despite all that, there has been one particular person, or maybe it's two people, that jumped into some of the comments in the last 24 hours in either the live chat or also the taped comments and said to viewers, don't get a stimulus check. Get back to work. You're lazy. You shouldn't be getting a stimulus check. You need to get back to work. You're lazy. Here is where that's not appropriate. First, it's not appropriate because it's rude, but it's also not appropriate because suddenly we see the stimulus check has nothing to do with employment. Many people who qualify for stimulus check are people who are retired. They're senior citizens, or people who are disabled. They can't work, or people who are working. They do have a job. They work every single day, but they're still behind on their bills because of the darn pandemic. So understand, while legislators understand that the stimulus check has nothing to do with getting back to work, it is really about getting caught up on your bills. And suddenly the Senate proposal, which looks to give you 6 months of stimulus checks starting the month of July, with a faster, bigger cash infusion than the House proposal, looks like the more logical one to get you caught up on your bills. Finally, one last personal message. I really appreciate all the positive comments you've had about the Tough Love recordings. It's been hard to say tough love in these recordings and make it very emphatic to you that there's a deadline looming, and the deadline is the end of today. If by chance you're watching this video tomorrow on Tuesday, don't fret if the deadline has passed. Ultimately, the best thing to do is just get it on file. File the tax return. If you're filing on Tuesday morning instead of Monday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, get it on file. But don't wait. Get it on file. And ultimately, the truth of the matter is, I don't know if I will still continue to record about third stimulus checks and their routing any more time, because there is no more routing of third stimulus checks. The situation as we sit here tonight is that if you're missing a third stimulus check, you must file a tax return to request it. And that's a very simple situation. And ironically, unlike the other situations that have to be fixed right now, that one is one that you absolutely cannot miss, because if you're missing a stimulus check, get it on file. Filing a tax return is not a particularly difficult task. There's a lot of online websites that do it for free or do it around the clock. And there's a lot of tax preparer websites where you can reach out and get tax advice as well. I hope this recording has helped you. I look forward to seeing you tonight on Evenings LA, and I'll have big updates about these items as well. More updates on what's happening with Nancy Pelosi in the Temple of Doom. Oh yeah, she's back. She is back and front and center for fourth stimulus. So make sure you subscribe. This is LA, and I really appreciate all your love over the last year. Continue to make this channel grow. We have been on fire today. Let's stay on fire. I don't like when we go cold. Also, like this video and consider becoming a member. Get access to the PDFs tonight. I'm back with you in 2 hours from now with Evenings LA. 2 hours after that is late night, is Evenings Crypto. It's a great show tonight, so don't miss that. Viewers are making a fortune, absolute fortune for my recordings. And then our 9-hour live show overnight. It's fun. I'm in the live chat. You jump in there, ask any questions about anything you want. Stay informed, stay focused, keep on smiling. I look forward to seeing you on Evenings LA. Never go negative, always stay positive, and across the land, you'll get what you need. Whether it's from this, that, or what's coming tomorrow, stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.